Namaste. I'm Jaya Daptardar. I'm Ayurvedic doctor. I am esthetician, writer of three books, and I'm also a healthcare executive. So today I'm here to talk about Ayurveda for lung care. So during this COVID-19 pandemic, we all learned the importance of taking care of our health and wellness. We can do anything if we are healthy. Lung healthcare became very important during this time. So, today we're going to talk about Ayurveda for lung care. So, before we start talking about it, I have a small disclaimer. The sole purpose of this presentation is to provide education and educational information to people about Ayurveda and wellness. This information is not intended for use of treatment or cure of any disease. If you have any serious acute or chronic health issues, please consult your family physician or healthcare provider who can fully assess your individual needs and provide the care that you require. So, going back to Ayurveda for lung care. Your lungs are constantly working to provide your body with all the oxygen. It is prana. It is prana to live the life. It needs to function well. The respiratory system is very vital for us to live. Just like all other systems in our body, the respiratory system is prone to wear and tear, more so due to high levels of toxins and pollutant air that we inhale. So, according to Ayurveda, we uh, accumulate those toxins in the body, and those toxins are called ama. Okay, and it is the problem for blocking the channels. So when you have more toxic substance in the body, that means you have more ama in the body, and that causes the obstructions in the channels. So in Ayurveda, uh, there are two buzzwords. One is strength, which is called bala, ojas, and other one is immunity, right? So there are two major elements that impact our strength, and uh, this ama is the sticky product of undigested food, and that lowers our immunity in the body. So when it spreads in the body, it clogs the channels and that carry food to the cells, and some channels that remove waste. So ojas is the opposite part of ama. Okay, so it is the product of perfect digestion. On the other hand, so when you have perfect digestion, you have that ojas in your body. You have that strength, that immunity that enhances your health and well-being. The goal of all treatments and therapies in Ayurveda is to enhance that ojas. Lung health imbalance is caused by increase in ama toxins in the lungs. Okay, so causes of increasing ama in the lung. Let's talk about those causes. What are those, right? One is simple improper diet. According to Ayurveda, diet plays an important role uh, in your body and your health. And diet according to your body type and according to season. That means you have to understand that you have to eat a seasonal food, which is according to uh, your prakriti, your body. Because kapha, which is a sticky substance in the body, that causes obstruction in our lungs and lungs functionality. So when your body type is kapha and then you're eating kapha type of food, that is not good because that will increase the kapha in your body. It will elevate the factor. So you always have to understand that. Then poor hygiene that affects us and our lungs. Polluted air. Polluted air is a big factor, and we're going to discuss that later on. Then seasonal changes. So sometimes the seasonal changes happen like allergies, um, extreme winter, extreme summer. Those are not good for your lungs as well. So you have to be protective when you go out. Then over exercise. People don't understand that everything you do, you have to do it in moderation. You cannot over exercise because that affect your capacity of lung. Then emotional grief, because Ayurveda uh, believes in the harmonious balance of your mind, body, and soul. So this is not only to take care of health, but of your body, but take care of health of your mind as well. So emotional grief, emotional imbalances also affect uh, your lung, and we'll talk more about it. So let's talk about increasing ojas because, um, as we said, that is similar to immunity. And we're talking a lot about immunity in this pandemic time. So, um, Ayurvedic diet, how the Ayurvedic diet helps to increase that ojas. Let's find out. So, consuming the right food plays a vital part in our healing and strengthening of the lungs. Ayurveda suggests herbs to be included in our diet according to season, which will aid the respiratory functions in your body. So, for example, like I said, kapha affects the because kapha is the stickiness, and if it elevates, it affects the lungs. So, if the season is, let's say, harsh winter outside and that increases kapha. So, if you add more ginger in your diet, that will affect because ginger helps to eliminate kapha, right? So, those types of herbs or spices you need to include in your food. Eat fresh, that's always there because eating clean and healthy food is not just good for your lungs, it's just good for your overall health. Stop overeating. Do not overeat because overeating slows down your digestion process and that leads to a lack of fulfilling the nutrients required for the or lungs to work and cell repair. Then just make sure to have a healthy diet plan according to Ayurveda. Always prefer to eat light breakfast and dinner, and the most substantial meals, and more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet plan. So, having pungent foods, because we were talking about adding spices in the diet. So, having pungent food items like garlic or onion will help reduce cholesterol, but it also fights against the infections that affect us. The spicy compound in capsicum is helpful because it improves the blood flow and fights the infection. So, nuts and seeds are rich in magnesium. They're a good source of magnesium for your diet. So, they keep you healthy and contribute to healthy lung function. So consume citrus fruit regularly, and you have heard it a lot during these pandemic times that the fruit rich in vitamin C that helps lungs to transfer oxygen. So studies also show that the vitamin D has a direct impact on the respiratory health. A deficiency of vitamin D has been shown to increase the upper respiratory tract infection and lower respiratory tract illnesses. Flax seeds and fresh broccoli help in maintaining vitamin D um, in the body. Apart from dairy products, you need to get yourself wholesome sunbathing every morning to absorb that vitamin D in your body. Antioxidants include vitamin D and E. They're helpful in reducing the tissue inflammation in addition to fighting the free radicals. So, fresh seasonal fruits and nuts like almonds are loaded with antioxidants, and they're very beneficial for the respiratory and overall health. Other food items that improve your lung health include carrots, avocado, ginger, beetroot, pumpkins. Similarly, pumpkin that is rich in vitamin C lowers the chance of lung imbalances or diseases. Carrots also have the same property, and that can help. Have a glass of warm water mixed with turmeric every night. It helps fight infection and lung diseases. You can also add a little black pepper when you add turmeric. It's always necessary because otherwise it doesn't get absorbed, and it helps in good digestion. So, ginger that has anti inflammatory properties help to get rid of pollutants from the lungs. Have them raw or mix them in your food. That is fine. Hot water intake, or I can say lukewarm water intake, not hot, but with lemon and honey that soothes your throat, and then that prevents allergens. So it doesn't clean any bacteria or viruses. It helps you with the kapha accumulation, with that stickiness, and it also helps in the allergens um, that enter into your body, or any viruses that enter into your body. So sipping hot water helps to support the lungs from elevated kapha in your lungs, according to Ayurveda. So, improving lung health by doing pranayama, breathing exercises. Those are very important. Breathing exercises are lifesaver for our lungs. Dedicate 15 to 20 minutes a day, and again, please don't overdo it. Everything in moderation is recommended in Ayurveda. So, actively work with your breathe, and you will breathe easier with stronger lungs and cleaner airways. Pranayama is an excellent way to revitalize prana within the body. Pranayama is a practice in controlling the breath. It cleans and strengthens the physical body while calming the mind. It is important to practice with the proper posture to allow the breathing to move freely in the body. So healthy lungs bring vitality, and prana in Ayurveda is the vitality. That's why Ayurveda refers to the respiratory system as pranavahastrotas. So with these tips, you will not only prevent the some type of imbalances, but also nurture your lungs so they can fulfill their life sustaining role of every day. So, deep breathing is one of the best ways to improve your breathing capacity. You have heard that the singers and the vocalist, they always do these breathing exercises to increase their capacity and sustain the capacity for the longer time. This is also one of the easiest methods. Make sure do you make sure to do yoga every day and on regular basis. So lungs help in gas exchange, oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? And processes in our bloodstream when you breathe. So for the growth and the function of body cells, we need proper amount of oxygen. And when we do pranayama, we get a good amount of oxygen that's required because of too much pollution in the environment. The oxygen that we are getting is we have to be careful that probably full of allergens or pollutants. So just make sure that when you do these breathing exercises, do it in a fresh air. Uh, and we can talk a little bit about polluted air and how that affects our lungs. So now during the we are still in this pandemic, so um, it's polluted when people are together in a small area. So just make sure to use masks, keep the safe distancing, and that is also a part of that type of pollution easily spreading the virus. Air pollution can affect people across the age and across the world and across the gender, including those who are even healthy. The risk factors for respiratory disorders arising out of air pollution, and that includes smoking. Smoking is a big part. Indoor pollution, toxic products, inadequate ventilation, high temperature and humidity, even outdoor pollution with the seasonal changes like allergens and occupational risks such as ambient pollution. So, lung diseases and respiratory problems, these conditions such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases COPDs can be caused and triggered by rising level of air pollution. In several metro cities, air pollution is the primary trigger for breathing elements on day-to-day basis for the children and the elderly population. So, and another common factor nowadays is also lung cancer, and that is also due to smoking, but also the areas where people smoke, it affects the other people. So we also have to understand that part. cardiovascular problems, weak immunity in newborns. So, due to this, indoor air pollution can also have adverse effect on the health of the women during pregnancy, and that can be that can affect the newborn later on. We have seen um, more asthma related issues in newborns. So, air pollution has an impact on overall health and wellness. Multiple studies point out that the lifespan of a person living in polluted cities is about 3 years less as compared to the person living in a cleaner rural and urban environment. So, again, after uh, this COVID 19 came, the pandemic, people are more and more moving into the rural environment where they can find less polluted air, where they can find the fresh air. So let's talk a little bit about role of Ayurveda in the lung care. So we heard, you know, why it is important and why it happens, but what Ayurveda can do. So, inhalation of toxic pollutants lead to the imbalance of the three fundamental energies that Ayurveda talks, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, or the principles which govern the function of our bodies according to Ayurveda. So, this causes numerous respiratory disorders and can also affect health, uh, the heart health. So, according to Ayurveda, we always have to make sure that those imbalances are balanced by our lifestyle management and the seasonal management, seasonal dietary food management, and overall lifestyle. Ayurvedic um, principles can help reverse the effects of the air pollution. It helps. Sorry, it doesn't reverse completely, but it helps. Nasya karma is the very good and ancient therapy in Ayurveda. This therapy includes the installation of medicated drops through the nostrils, which prevent the allergens caused by the air pollutants. It should be done daily under the supervision of the Ayurvedic expert, and must be taken in small doses, like start with one drop and two drops like that during bedtime and post waking up in the morning. So it's recommended in the early morning. This helps in flushing out the pollutants from the nasal cavity, and it prevents the pollutants from crossing the nasal path. So, instilling drops of simple almond oil or cow ghee can also help, but just to make sure that's not polluted, that's very pure and hygienic. Anudel Nasya is one of the ancient Ayurvedic formulation, which is effective in cleansing the nasal passage in addition of lubricating the area. But again, it has to be done by the recommendation of Ayurvedic expert and under the supervision. So we always think about inhalation, exhalation by nose, by the nostrils. But in some people, when they have difficulty in breathing through the nose, some people have chronic sinus problems or um, asthma. So at that time, people breathe through the mouth. So it is also important to take care of the that passage, mouth passage. So the nose has a filtering mechanism in preventing pollutants from entering the body, but for the mouth breathers, oil pulling therapy provides the barrier to prevent the entry of the pollutants through the mouth. The process involves placing medicated oil into mouth for like 10 to 15 minutes and then spitting it out. It cleans the harmful bacteria and strengthens the mucus lining of the mouth to fight various allergens um, present in the air. Then the breathing exercises, like I mentioned earlier, pranayama is very helpful to strengthen the respiratory system. Abhyanga massage. So it helps in improving blood circulation and getting rid of the toxins that have entered through the bloodstream by various means like inhalation, or through skin. So regular abhyanga with just simple sesame oil or other medicated oils infused with herbs increase the body's immunity, and that helps keep the person energized. Then comes the steam inhalation. So this is also Ayurveda's ancient technique or the therapy. A kettle of vaporizer can be used for the steam inhalation in case of respiratory problems or infections. A little, and again, it has to be done under the care of Ayurvedic expert um, or your physician. A little eucalyptus oil or the carom seeds can be added to the water, and a face massage followed by the steam is particularly helpful because that also strengthens the outside muscles. And that helps in like seasonal cold and cough problems, sinus problems. Then the next is neti. And neti is becoming very popular, and I have seen more and more allopathic practitioners, even the ENT doctors, are prescribing this neti. So neti pot can be used to clear the nasal passage of any blockages. It is important to learn it properly from the experts before practicing at home. So, neti pot is a pot with a spout, and you can use warm water in that pot, and then pour in your one nostril in a certain position, and that comes out from the other, so that cleans the whole path. So, and for those who feel comfortable with neti, it can be practiced daily. However, if you face any issues while doing neti, do not do it and consult your doctor. Then, seasonal changes and how they affect our body uh, dif- functions differently in each season and person to person and to different temperatures and climate. Seasons like autumn and early spring make us especially prone to the respiratory problems. Lung health also varies from season to season. In Ayurvedic context, when too much vata, too much air accumulates in the lung, we experience breathlessness, dry cough, asthma, uh, hoarseness in the voice, or weak voice, pain when breathing, and even lung allergies. If you're experiencing any of these, your lung health might be out of balance. Ayurveda has effective remedies to bring an agitated dosha back into the diet, into the balance. Lifestyle and herb um, concoctions are there to ensure the health of our lungs. So let's dive into ancient wisdom that's highly effective even today. Proper sleep is very important according to Ayurveda. Adequate sleep of 7 to 9 hours. It helps your body from exertion and give time to cell repair. Detoxification of the body plays a big role in keeping the body healthy, and like I said, that ama, the toxic substance to clean. It helps in getting rid of those toxins from the body at a time of seasonal changes. So before I talk about those herbs, uh, ancient herbs, I want to let you know that both no exercise or extreme, tremendous exercise is harmful for the lungs. Heavy lifting beyond your capacity causes the strain on the lungs, while on the other hand, not exercising reduces the oxygen intake capacity of your lungs. So, any form of exercise in moderation can help your streamline your breathing pattern. Indulge in activities like swimming, jogging, or trekking to help you, improve your breathing. Avoid heavy tasks beyond your capacity. It causes strain on the lungs and leads to lung tissue damage. Daily yoga, body activities help lungs to fulfill the requirements of oxygen in the body. Practice breathing exercises daily to, like I said earlier, to increase the lung capacity. Uh, Stress and emotions play a very big role. I said it earlier, but I just want to explain that an overload of stress or grief can also affect the lungs due to the congestion happens during the stress and the emotion of uh, emotional overburden. So let's talk about those precious herbs in Ayurveda that can benefit uh, lung health. Licorice, which is muleti. This Ayurvedic herb used to actually as a therapy for various health elements. It helps um, the other things, cholesterol level, or it boosts immunity and heal the respiratory tract's mucosal line. It is anti-allergic and useful in the treatment of bronchial asthma. Ayurveda uses in the therapy of bronchial asthma. Ashwagandha. It is essential ingredient for the treatment of uh, lung care. It is very helpful. It is a shrub with many medicinal properties. Um, its leaves, fruit, and roots are used to treat numerous diseases. Lungs, the lungs to expel out the thick excretion from the respiratory tract, that cover it supports the gas exchange in the lung as well. Then there are other herbs that you already know, that the ginger, it helps in the cleansing and eliminate kapha. Then there are other ingredients like cardamom, uh, holy basil, then black pepper. They're very helpful in uh, actually eliminate the the illness the respiratory illnesses, but also in the damaged lung condition. If you want to stay healthy, you have to use this natural ingredient on daily basis, like turmeric, black pepper, ginger, um, the cardamom. But one thing, you always have to make sure that smoking is dangerous for the lungs. Even the environment of smoking, or the areas where that smoking happens, it compromises respiratory health, but also hampers your immune system, mental health, reproductive system, and nearly all the organs of the body, and paves way for several elements, including COPD and different types of cancer. So, if you are addicted to smoking, heading to de-addiction program should be the first thing on your resolution list. So, we learned a lot from building immunity through the diet plan, pranayama, breathing exercises, uh, and spices, what spices should use according to Ayurveda. So, there are some superfoods that you should always include in your daily diet, and that's the tip of the day. Uh, like I said earlier, definitely uh, ginger, turmeric, or basil. But according to Ayurveda, uh, Chawanprash is the formulation, preparation made with the ingredients, the herbs. Those are helpful to improve your immunity, especially in winter season. It's very helpful, and that can fight or help against any respiratory infections, and also keeping your cough and sinus away. So uh, that's the tip, and definitely golden milk. That's the magic. The pinch of turmeric mixed with hot milk, and a little pinch of black pepper is needed. That has countless health benefits. Turmeric is rich in curcumin, which is useful in relieving sinus and congestion, and improves the lung function. In addition to being a rich source of antioxidant, turmeric has anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, which help in fighting a range of respiratory ailments and infections. So, with that, I wish you all a good health and prosperity. Thank you, and stay safe.